Okay, first we need to get the stock intake system off the car. We're going to remove the bolt that holds the airbox on here, unplug the mass air meter here, pull the PCV connection off here, loosen the clamp at the throttle body, and remove the shaker connection here. When you're installing a cold air system with the filter and the fender well, you're not going to use the shaker system anymore. So what I like to do is I like to remove it from up top here. It gives for a cleaner appearance under the hood. There's 4 tabs, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. Sometimes you're lucky and you can get those just by disconnecting the top and giving a good yank and that will come off, but sometimes not. So just to get the shaker system off, there's a 10mm bolt on this side and a 10mm bolt on this side. Pull those out and the shaker system pulls right up. Unplug the 2 drain lines and it's ready to remove. Once you have it off, put it upside down on a table, use a cloth for protection. You can get to the bottom clips with a screwdriver here and here while simultaneously undoing the ones at the top, and you can take the 2. Now you want to remove the mass air meter from the stock air box by removing these 4 10mm bolts. Okay, what we're going to do here is we're going to bolt the aluminum mass air adapter onto your mass air meter using these 4 supplied bolts and this supplied rubber gasket. You're going to put the gasket on the mass air meter. You're going to put the adapter on. The bolts come through the mass air meter and thread into the mass air adapter. Those with 80mm mass air meters, you're going to take the supplied silicone spacer, install this onto this side of your mass air meter. That's it. Okay, here we have our mass air meter with our adapter bolted to it, our filter, and our reducer, and we're going to go ahead and install this into the fender well. Okay, to gain access to the fender well area, there's one Phillips head screw that's in this mounting hole right here. You can pry out the splash shield and pry it down from the fender, and that'll gain you enough access to get in there and work on it. Now, I don't have the wheel tire off. I simply just have it jacked up enough so the tire is just barely off the ground. That gives me more than enough working room in here. Before we bolt up the apron plate, I like to take a couple of pieces of duct tape and put it over this hole in the metal apron. There's some sharp metal in there and this will help protect that pipe while you're putting it in. We'll go ahead and take the factory bolt and install your apron. Okay, the Mach 1 seems to have a very short mass air harness wire. So what you need to do is pull the sheathing back on this wiring harness, pull off some of the black tape that's holding the wires in, and you're going to pull it up through there to get some length out of it, and you're actually going to tuck it in this upper hole down into the fender well so it reaches the mass air meter. Alright, now we're going to install the cold air tube. We're going to go into the apron plate, rotate it down, put it onto the throttle body. We're going to tighten up the clamp at the throttle body. We're going to install the PCV connection. You can go ahead and leave this connection loose until you get your final adjustments down in the fender well. Okay, we've got the pipe coming through the fender well. We're going to bring up our filter and mass air unit. Install that on the tube. Alright, now that you've got it up on the tube, you're going to go ahead and tighten the clamp, finger tight, with a nut driver or screwdriver. Don't need to go too tight. There is a barb at the end of the tube, so that's not going to come off. You got your mass air wire harness coming through this tube that you pushed through before. You're going to go ahead and plug that in. And button up your splash shield.